I have Apple Vision Pro, which I use. Carrie got excited. So here's the fun part about Apple Vision Pro that I love. I'm a tabs person. We all get made fun of that we have like a million tabs open.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really big on creating spaces for myself to work in different like minds and mindsets and modes.
Yeah.
So that I can sort of use the environment to alter my focus. Because I'm focused on so many different things. So even in my office, I have different like stations where I'll sit to focus on different things. And what I love about Apple Vision Pro is I can, number one, create a 360 degree, or at least it's 180, but it feels like 360. Actually, there is 360 immersive environments where I can sort of just eliminate a lot of like my visual, and feel more in a state of calm. And so, for example, if I'm writing or creating or just reflecting or doing things like that, and then I can bring in, rather than have all the tabs on one workspace computer, I can have the dimension of like bringing something forward and just creating better focus for myself. So I've loved Apple Vision Pro for that reason. I'm also big, I know you're big into reflection and meditation. So what I love is the spatial audio is probably one of the coolest things I've ever, like, I love spatial audio.
No, I really
It's just like, I could cry with, just the experience of trying to put yourself somewhere and being present in a moment.
This is everything they never told you about real estate with the AI queen, Carrie Soave, sharing the tech, tools, and lead gen strategies that top producers won't tell you about. Now, here's your host, Carrie.
Welcome back, everybody. I am here with a special guest, Jessica Nieto. She is an icon. She was actually named 2024 Icon of the Year at EXP. And she's licensed in California. She's licensed in Oregon. She's a team leader. How many agents you got? Like 24?
Yeah. What's up, Carrie? Good to be with you.
Rockstar. Please welcome her because she is an amazing human being. I'm so happy you're here joining me today. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm always excited to have a conversation with you. I mean, in person, in the studio, love connecting with you.
Right? We first connected. I feel like we first connected on your podcast. So tell everybody just a bit of your podcast. What's it about? Where can they find it?
Sure, absolutely. So we connected on Workplace, I think, through the Women's Impact. And I invited you to be a guest on the podcast. And I'm fascinated with your work. I just absolutely know it comes from the heart. You're so innovative, but you always show the receipts. So that's the podcast for me, was all about allowing entrepreneurs to kind of look over the shoulder and get into those conversations and get into those rooms that they may not yet feel invited to be in, or may not, yet have found a way to get into those rooms to be in proximity to people like you, and to learn things. So it's called the Reveal Podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, KCGI Radio, which is our EXP radio show. And it's exciting to bring people in and to get past like the success part and go into the story of where it got really hard and figure out how did we get through the hard part and break through to the other side. So it's been a super fun journey for me as well. I've learned a lot through doing it. It's been a lot of fun.
And everybody really needs to check out this podcast because I think we did it at a time where I was doing 3 to 4 guest appearances on podcasts a week. And that was my favorite one. I love questions were very authentic and very personal. And I get sick of talking about the same thing all the time, right? So,
I know. That's why I love your podcast, because it's very like, especially coming today, I would say I felt very welcomed before I arrived because I've gotten to know a little bit about you and just how let's make it organic. People really want to know about you and how we can help them, and these stories resonate. So we don't know if we're going to talk about like lampshades or like
talk about
high school or like taking over the world. We don't know.
Oh my goodness. I got to get this one question before I forget it, because this is a very important question. It's research for something that I'm planning.
Oh, I love research.
I'm planning a virtual conference, and we're starting right now. It's a half day. It might turn out to be a full day, but it's designed, and I don't even have a freaking name for it yet, but it's going to be all around building your perfect tech stack for 2025.
Oh God, it's so good.
And everybody, so like I've got like the tech tools that like obviously I think are super important, and I know like some of the teams that I work with are super important, brokerages, and I want, you know, the people using them at a high level successfully to come on and present them. Like that's why it's more of a conference instead of like what I usually do, it's just like a webinar workshop, because it's not going to be all about me. But I want to know, like, what tech tool as an agent can you not live without? Like, I need to know this. And if there's more than one, give them all to me.
How much time do we have? I love this. So I am a very curious creature. That is my nature. And I love technology. I don't know everything about everything, but I love learning as much as I can. And I love implementing and testing and all that. So I try to keep it like chill with the team. So I don't like put all my stuff on them and make them crazy, but I love to test stuff. And there are certain things that I absolutely could not live without. So number one, I'll just say that I do have and have played with your bot that you built for ChatGPT. And I've gotten the perfect prompt that I use because I sell a lot of shitty houses of how to dial it down into my language, but still use everything you've built. And it's amazing. So I would say, you know, I love that concept of what you're doing with the event. And I just want to add that building a framework for me has been super important to help my agents build their business and generate revenue, is to help people understand like how to do the gap analysis and the analysis to understand what tech they really need, rather than just having a bunch of usernames and passwords for stuff that you don't use. How to like do the ROI and an analysis of like, what are you using? What are you not using? What are you using it for? Is it helping you? Is it hurting you? Is it holding you back? Like, is it the best thing for you? Or is it you're just using it because that's what everybody's using? I do try to dive in and utilize, because I know EXP and you partnered with EXP, have really tested and have a lot of relationships with the people that have created really great software and tools. So I try to plug the team into everything EXP as much as possible, because I know it's tested. I know the relationships there. I know if we need answers, we can get answers. We have a whole community to ask questions to. So we use a combination of different things, you know, in terms of CRMs and everything else. I feel like agents need to know what they're going to use the CRM for before they actually make a decision. So I'm pretty loose about what we use on the team, except for reporting and things like that. But I would say one tech tool that I could not live without after my phone. After the basics. Actually, I'm going to use the phone as an example. So I have an agent who wants to get into doing a bunch of content. He's like, send me your list, you know, because I love, like, I'm a tech gadget person. So I've got like all the things, whether I know how to use them or not, just love gadgets. But I was like, what you need is a brand new iPhone. And it's amazing the quality of the 4K of our phones, the speaker on the phone, all the apps you can download. So I would say get yourself a really good phone before you have a bunch of subscriptions.
Okay. Do you have
That's silly? So simple.
Do you have the newest one?
I have the newest one.
Okay.
Don't ask me what number it is. I don't know.
I know. Are you using Apple Intelligence on it?
Yes. So here, yes. We can nerd. Are we going to nerd out the whole podcast? So I also just got like the Apple, I never know the names of things. I just know, but the little Apple ball thing that you can put on your desk. So I got rid of Alexa. I'm like, Alexa, you're out.
Yeah.
Siri, you're in. So I've got the Siri ball, and you can talk back and forth to them, and she can do everything. So I love and hate Siri.
Okay. So out of all of the new features with Apple Intelligence, what would you say is your favorite? And keep in mind, I have not upgraded yet. But I do
Okay.
have, I do have a 15 and I do have Apple Intelligence on here. But I've heard with the new phone, it's like full capabilities, whereas I'm pretty limited to like what I can access.
Yeah. So I'll say this, you can do a tour, right? So if anyone listening, you can do a tour of all the new tech and all the things that it can do. For me, what's most helpful is reminders that turn into tasks, scheduling things, putting things on my calendar, telling me what my agenda is for the day, rather than staring at my calendar, like tell me about my agenda. I also just really love being able to has some really cool auto response. Oh, this is what it was. On your phone, when you have your text app, and we're only talking to Apple people, so I'm sorry, you can just hang up from this entire pod. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
We love you.
We'll be back for you. We'll be back for you.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. We love you. I was a Droid person too. But what I love is in your text thread, it is summarizing text messages. So for example, if an agent's like, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm talking about this house, and I want to go see it, and I have all these questions, and blah, 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 and I'm going to submit an offer on Sunday. And in it, it summarized it and says, Bob's going to show the house. He wants to write an offer. I'm like, the brevity
Wow.
is been served up to me. I love the brevity of messages, and it makes me so happy.
I love somebody who loves tech as much as me, and I have that in
Do I seem excited?
Great. Honestly, this is like the best conversation because I get to nerd out and like live through Apple Intelligence through you until I get my ass into an Apple store and get the newest phone, which will happen. I travel so much, and when I'm home, I just want to be at home with my dogs and my
Totally same.
sister. But this reminds me, I'm actually we end this podcast, I'm gonna text you to book a call with you because I've got something that you would really like. Like,
you know, I love your stuff, Carrie.
What you're loving about it, like I have something that will blow your freaking mind.
I can't wait.
Maybe just throwing this out there, maybe you can like become like the Apple Intelligence Pro and come and present at my conference. What do you think?
Hey, I'm all in. I have Apple Vision Pro, which I use. Carrie got excited. So here's the fun part about Apple Vision Pro that I love. I'm a tabs person. We all get made fun of that we have like a million tabs open.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really big on creating spaces for myself to work in different like mindsets and modes.
Yeah.
So that I can sort of use the environment to alter my focus. Because I'm focused on so many different things. So even in my office, I have different like stations where I'll sit to focus on different things. And what I love about Apple Vision Pro is I can, number one, create a 360 degree, or at least it's 180, but it feels like 360. Actually, there is 360 immersive environments where I can sort of just eliminate a lot of like my visual, and feel more in a state of calm. And so, for example, if I'm writing or creating or just reflecting or doing things like that, and then I can bring in, rather than have all the tabs on one workspace computer, I can have the dimension of like bringing something forward and just creating better focus for myself. So I've loved Apple Vision Pro for that reason. I'm also big, I know you're big into reflection and meditation. So what I love is the spatial audio is probably one of the coolest things I've ever, like, I love spatial audio.
No,
it's just like, I was like with, just the experience of trying to put yourself somewhere and being present in a moment, and the spatial audio is just amazing. Like, I could imagine if I were blind, I'd be okay with spatial audio. That would be awful, but like I would feel connected.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I love this. I'm gonna buy my husband the Meta glasses. Have you tried those yet?
I have a friend, Tawana Peterson Jackson. You've met her. I think you met her wife, LaShawn, actually at Miami. Yeah. So her wife, Tawana, has a pair. And it's just spectacular how she'll document her experience somewhere and then just throw it into a reel and just be done. It's amazing.
Like,
yes, like
this is great for somebody like me as a content creator, but like What's shocking is, well, it's not really shocking because every pretty much, if you're at EXP, you've probably met my husband at the conferences. Like he does
He's so cool.
now and all the pictures while I'm working. So, and it's honestly like, I would never before have given up any of that because I'm very controlling with all of my content creation. It's been my bread and butter for 15 years, right? So
you love it too.
I didn't want to give up control, but I gotta tell you, it feels so good to like just be able to leave your phone in the room and go to dinner, or you know what I mean? Like it sucks for him because he's on all the time.
He was so good. Yeah, I thought he was like your bodyguard and your camera person. You're like, he's also my husband.
I love it. So great. Oh my goodness. So I can't wait to get those for him. And he works construction. So and he makes all these, he's got his own TikTok.
I like it.
Most people don't know this. He does heavy construction. He builds bridges and he records all of the bloopers and all of the mishaps that happen on the job that are hilarious. His boss loses it when they get uploaded to TikTok. But he has a lot of views. Like he gets more views than like most people.
I would watch that all day.
So like, could you imagine him at work with like these glasses just getting absolute gold? You know what I mean? Like just absolute gold. So I'm gonna get those for him. This is great. I love like the Apple Intelligence. I love that you know about that, and I really want you to come and present on that. So we're going to talk about that. But
I love some Canada time
about your team because I really jumped right into that. But that's like my favorite question. And if you know me, like I'm not a patient person. So
love that about you.
The flow should have been a little bit better, but
flow. All about the energy.
Definitely not a slow burn. So let's talk about your team and where you're training in, and you know you are a team of 24.
Yeah,
sorry,
a team of 24.
Oh, my goodness. And you know you're
28's my lucky number though.
Well, I feel like I said 28 for a reason. Then maybe we're adding this year. This is what's happening. What are some of your goals with your team for 2025? Give me your goals.
Yeah.
I want to hear you say them out loud so that like, I like doing that to people, but it's
yeah, I get excited. Like that's when I sit back in the chair, like I'm on, let's go. So here's the deal. I'm a big EXP, like I'm all EXP. I love this community. And it's because I've really experienced transformational growth plugging in. And so my job as a team leader is I can't make people be productive, but I can continue to grow and cultivate an environment where they can choose to take action and thrive. And so I just basically take the hours of my week and I look at what my personal investment of time is into doing exactly that, cultivating that through education, providing resources. But the big thing that we're focused on for this month, and I know you asked about goals, but this is going to feed right into that. I promise I'll answer your question, is preparing people to feel not only prepared, but also excited, passionate, and just absolutely plugged in to wanting to answer questions that our customers will ask or that people that they run into will ask. So as we build and create more awareness around what it is that we do, then people are going to ask the question like, well, how do I get started? Well, how's the market? These are the questions that people ask. And for my agents to be the most equipped, excited group. So our team name is it's the Nieto Connect team. So we're focused on connecting our community, friends, family, and each other with all of the resources, relationships, connections, like absolutely everything that they need to create wealth through real estate and to be happy, joyful, and connected. And so for me, the goal is, and I've been focusing on this a lot. So I will share my answer, which many people will be like, well, you got to have like a simple goal. And I've been chasing that. I've been trying to figure that out. Yes, we have goals for metrics. We sold over 200 properties last year. So we sell a lot of property. I personally sold over 155 listings myself. So we have goals, we have metrics. But what I've learned in sort of trying to chase and figure out exactly what my goals are in the next 5 years literally, I asked the question to someone in a recent mastermind, and I asked her, like, what if you can't quantify what the end result is? Because for me, it's like at some point you can't really quantify how many people you're impacting.
Yeah.
So for me, her answer was that it's a feeling. And what I want to create is a feeling where everyone is empowered this year to whether they leave the team, they graduate from the team, whatever that is. I've got my numbers, I've got my things, but everyone has individualized goals on the team. And when we all communicate and know what our goals are, then we can move as a unit together.
Oh, I love this, Jessica. Okay. Because I have goals for myself, but what I've realized over the last year is the feeling and the process of, what the daily things I'm doing and the activities to reach those goals is better than the feeling when I reach them. So I feel like 2025, I can't completely remove the goals because it is what drives me and focuses me. But it's going to be more about living in the moment and living in the energy and living in the feeling of the journey than getting to the destination.
100.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this year it's been the longest 22 days of a year. Like it's been 2 years and 22 days. And like most of my team has had some kind of sickness or completely sick. We've got people like dealing with illness, dealing with losing their homes in the LA fires, not my team, but many of our EXP agents. We've got all kinds of like polarization in both of our countries, Canada and the US, with politics. We've got so much going on. And so for me, it's very much easier. I know what my activities are, but if I'm able to remain resilient and pivot in a day and know that where my action and my energy is flowing and where it is focused, it is still going towards that goal of cultivating the very best environment possible for myself, my family, my community, and my team.
And you have your real estate goals. You want your team to achieve this. You want to achieve that. But do you have any real big picture goals that are more like tangible community goals that are possible because of all of your professional goals? Do you understand what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, in the last few years, a lot of the work that I've done in terms of giving back and just showing up has been all to really, well, first of all, you don't always have a goal in mind when you help. Like you help first, right?
Yeah.
You help first. And oftentimes like doing that work, you get to a point where you earn the privilege of having all of that awareness around who you are and what your values are. And then you get to that point, and I took this really cool attributes test through Success Magazine. Have you taken it before?
I haven't, but I want to.
Okay, it's fascinating. It really was hard for me because it was 250 questions, and I'm like, this is hard. But what was interesting is that rather than it being like, hey, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses, your top 5, there's 42 attributes, 41 or 42 attributes. So you answer all these questions and it tells you like what your top 5 are and then your bottom 5. And then learning how you could develop the attributes that you want to become better at that would help you situationally in what you're trying to accomplish.
Oh, wow.
And so what I realized is that in the last year, everything that I've been working so hard to create has been aligned, but is completely against like really who I am and what I love doing. So for example, like I'm more of a visionary leader, whereas I know that you cannot have a really big successful team and just be like a visionary type leader. You also need SOPs, you need like all the things. And doing that work is required, but not fun for a person that doesn't love doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the right people in place and the right who's and all that. So I would say like 2025, a lot of my goals are, I like to be out and about and people know like what's on my heart and how I can help my community. But my goal this year is to, rather than just do a lot everywhere, is to get as many bows, like completely finished, done things that will have a long-term impact on how I can help people that's scalable.
Oh, I love that.
So it's not going to be a lot of things that I can quantify and share with you. It's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff
Yeah.
But I have lists and lists of things that we're executing. And I know I don't know if that really answers your question, but it's like sometimes you have to be quiet and go behind the scenes on the things that you're working really hard on to accomplish. And I mean, a message I would share with your audience is if you want to scale something, and I want to get your take on this, if you want to scale something and really make big impact, you need the systems to support you. And if you can't build them yourself, you have to find the people to help you build them.
Yeah, 100%. That you actually brought up something that the reason I wanted to have you on so quickly, so fast, is because of what's going on in your backyard right now. So you live in LA, am I correct?
So I live in North County, San Diego,
Oh,
but most all of my team lives in Los Angeles County.
okay. And obviously, like, if you don't know that there are wildfires going on right now, sweeping through California, you're living under a fucking rock because I can't stop thinking about it and I'm in Canada. Okay. So what is the status right now? Like, how many homes are down? How many, do you know any of the stats right now? Like, where are we
Yeah.
at? As of right now, just I want to point out today is Wednesday, January 22nd is when we're recording this. So this will be going live in like less than a week, but
Yeah. No, that's great to do that. So I'll just point this out. I'm so grateful for eXp Realty. They've brought people from every single department with Extend a Hand, One eXp, marketing, volunteer agents, communications. All the different teams have come together and created an LA fire support task force. So every day we're looking at how many agents and staff have been impacted, but then overall, like how many people have impacted overall. And Michael Edwards, who is on staff, he's been doing like situation reports in the morning. So one of the things that I would share, I don't want to give bad information. So I'm just looking because the stats are changing every day. The Palisades fire, we're talking like 1,000 acres, and this has been going on for weeks, and they're just now at 63% containment, which is like absolutely insane. And there are still 100-mile-per-hour winds. I have a team member, for example, right now, power's been out for 7 days. I talked to one of our big influencers, Amazing Human, Pilar. I literally spoke to her as she's evacuating today from her home from a new fire. So she's evacuating, and the list of like, hey, here's the list of the things to think about you need to grab, like your pet, but if you have time, like here's the list of documents. This has just been horrifying. The casualties, we're at 28 confirmed deaths in Los Angeles County that have been linked to the Palisades and Eaton fires. Over 14,000 homes and buildings have been destroyed. There's so many things to think about, but that the hardest part has been that while many people have completely lost their homes, burned to the ground, we also have people that are just impacted by feeling paralyzed about what to do and how to move forward because the fires haven't even stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. It's devastating. I've been watching it unfold, and I've also noticed that you are heavily involved, being boots on the ground. You're helping where you can, you're posting what you can, you're trying to get help. And so I wanted to give you this platform. What is needed for anybody listening that has it in their heart to do something, if they're feeling that calling to participate and make a difference, what is needed right now today?
Right now today is such a great question because it's changing every day. So I would say this, so many agents I've spoken to within eXp, they just feel paralyzed. Like, I don't know what I can do to help. So we're realtors. So we have connections, we have resources, we know how to talk. I'll give you just a quick example, like a 5 quick example of 5 ways that people have helped that have been very helpful. 1, brand new agent. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help on my team. Okay, no problem. Here's a family. They lost their house. They bought it in 1982 for $80,000. It's burned to the ground. They have lower income. Their credit's okay, but they don't, like, their house is worth $1.8 million and everything they have is in that house. And then they have a stipend. They haven't applied to rent a place for 50 years. Here's how you can help them. Work with someone on the team to generate a list of places that would work and go be with them. Take them to lunch, whatever you need to do throughout the day. Take them to go look at these places, help them package their documentation, and all the way to the end, We reach out to the referral partners that we have that are, or the staging partners that we have, ask them if they'll donate furniture, and then put it all together with a bow on it, like I said, and help them all the way to the finish line to make sure they get moved into the house.
Yeah.
Go. Okay, awesome. I can do that, right?
Yeah.
2, donate to Extend a Hand. Donate directly to any nonprofit organization that you 100% support, or in a way that you feel like resonates in a way that you feel that you want to help. 3, logistics. Like, not everything we could do. And this is hard for me because I want to be like hands dirty, like in helping.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm more of a like logistics, like how can I get more people into motion type of person. So that's huge help. Like, who do you know? Fundraising, that's fantastic. But here's another thing, like where you live, wherever you live, like we had the crazy stuff going on in North Carolina. I'm sure there's many things going on all around the world, is learn and educate your immediate neighborhood and community on how you could prepare for a disaster. For example, my neighborhood, we all know each other. We have an email list. We get together, we figure out like, if this happened, what would we do? And we have a communication channel. So put together like some type of thing to where your neighborhood feels more supported if you think that's where you want to focus. And then 5 is we have Extend a Hand. Has put together a place where you can go on and you can donate to Extend a Hand, and they've been doing some really impactful things through that. So,
well,
got me on a roll, Carrie. I just keep going, but stop it. You see, I'm like, stop at 5.
This is good. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted for today. And, yeah, bless your heart. You are, I've met a lot of people at EXP, a lot of people. I've spoken on a lot of stages all over the world, and you left such a lasting impression on me. You are very kind. You are, people like to say they're collaborative and connector. You are the definition of that. So
scary.
thank you for being you. You literally are going to reach all your goals, Jessica, every single one of them, because that's what you deserve in life, and you don't deserve.
Thank you.
Less.
And I didn't give you the numbers, but my goal is to invite 100 agents to join EXP Realty this year.
Okay. Did you watch the, so I was watching the NASDAQ yesterday.
It was so fun. I was so excited.
Agent, her name's Spring. She's
a badass. She's joined.
She's going to be documenting. So
every day, girl, yeah. I'm with you. I looked on her Instagram yesterday. I'm like, you haven't started yet. I feel like you need to get started. Spring.
Oh, you have to sign up for it, Jessica.
Oh, you do?
Okay. On the link in her bio, and there's like, you can sign up for it. It's a blog that she's going to be doing. I haven't received anything yet. I signed up yesterday, but I have my COO of my org on it. I'm like, we're going to do this because she's done this before. And she's going to do it again, and we're going to follow along.
Oh, 100. So there's 2 things that Spring said that inspired me today in my reflections this morning. Mm-hmm. One was I was listening to a video that she was doing as an intro coming to EXP, and she's like, was talking about how at some point, like she'd been watching EXP, but there's this many agents, 90,000 agents. And what is it that I could do that's different? And I'm like, this lady saying that, like, that's a lesson to all women. Like Spring saying, look at what she does. She's amazing, right? And then the other thing is documenting your process and documenting, what you're doing. Like, even if you don't share it right away, just documenting it. So this morning, like for me, this year is a big health journey. And so this morning when I like made myself go out to our gym and spend 30 minutes in there and like prioritizing that was I thought about her and I thought like, okay, I'm just going to document this for myself. Like today was not a special day. It's Wednesday, January 22nd. There's nothing special about it.
Yeah.
But like any day is a great day to start, but document it. Document what you're doing. I mean, how inspiring is that? So yeah, we both got her on our mind.
I really, really love that. Did you know, and maybe you want to do this, one of the ladies that I'm coaching right now is doing really good with AI. Like she's deep. She's in pretty deep. She's in as deep as me. And she called me and she's like, I made ChatGPT my journal. Every day, everything that happens. And I'm telling you, like, I would love to be able to I feel like it's a lot.
Well, I feel like it kind of is. Actually, it's been one of the hardest parts of switching and moving over to Gemini from ChatGPT, which I'm still not fully over. I feel like I'm kind of seeing Gemini, but I'm really, my best friend.
I do both because I'm
I
learning
use both for different things for sure. And
like my
Copilot.
chat GPT, but like in terms of doing anything, because I do have like Google Suite, right? Like, so in terms of doing anything with my docs, my calendar, my email, it's got to be Gemini, right?
Gemini's been great.
Yeah.
I feel like we can just talk about this.
One, did I tell you about Stilo?
No,
Stilo.
I don't know about this one. It sounds like stiletto.
Stilo. Hold on, I have it up here. This is very powerful. This is, yeah.
So what are you using it for?
AI. And this is very powerful. It is a AI journaling. It prompts you, remembers situations and dilemmas, asks you about how everything went. There's like a daily, what do you call it? Like Bible verse.
Like a prompt?
For people who are into that.
Oh.
There was more mindful prompts as well. Like it's the only thing it's lacking, Stilo, if you're listening, is the voice activated aspect of it.
Oh yeah, that's important.
I don't ever want to type again. Like now that we have AVM, advanced voice mode, I feel like I should never have to type again, Jessica.
Well, and it's different. So I've learned this recently about myself as someone shared this with me, one of my mentors, and I was sort of blown away. So when I speak with brevity. I'm more direct and short. I think it's something I've adapted with the way that I work and the type of clients that I have, which are mostly investors, institutional type groups. But when I write, it's completely different, like, long and all the things and detailed and like more of me is in there. So, but I also believe that when we just speak, we don't overthink what we're writing, right?
Yeah.
So I've been trying to journal and write and do things and create things by speaking now. And I love it. I love it. And you can get so much more out.
I get so lazy now whenever I have to type anything in. And it's the future of everything.
And but you're not one of those people that's like, send a message to Bob that I said, blah, 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 like when you're in a group of people. Do you do that?
No. Oh
no,
my
not. Okay.
No, did you see new chat GPT? Okay, there's a couple new chat GPT updates.
Tell me.
Number one is the most latest, which is tasks. So now,
I don't know about this.
It's in beta, but basically you can ask it to do something on schedule and notify you and send it to you. Like you can't perform tasks outside of ChatGPT right now, but it can within, if that makes sense. So like, what's the task? Like every Monday, I have it running a prompt to get me all my tweets for the week. It won't post them for me yet, but like that's what's coming, guys. This is the first step, right? So that's why this is so exciting. It may not seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal.
When it's all going to start talking.
Yeah, when you think about like what capabilities are needed.
Can you put Zap with it though?
Zapier?
Yeah, could you zap it into your 100%. Twitter?
Like, but you could do that without tasks. Like you could have it scheduled anyways within Zapier. But soon you're going to be able to do it all. And the second one is the phone app, giving it camera access during your voice conversations.
What?
So I had a leaky water heater last week. And like it told me what was wrong, why there was water in my basement by looking through my camera, and told me how to fix it. Like,
no way.
Everything for real estate. Like walkthroughs. What kind of flooring is this? Oh my God, this house looks like shit. Can you suggest some furniture? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is yeah.
I'm excited. I'm going to bring this up in our team meeting so we can start playing around with this in the open houses. I love it.
We need to talk because I feel like I want to do some stuff for you.
Also, what I love about what you've done with your chat bots is, so I know that a lot of people believe in, or they have the philosophy that you have to know exactly what to say as a real estate agent. I don't agree with that. I have a different kind of thought, which is, I think that you need a really good framework because what's important is the energy that you bring to things, right? And the words matter and words work. Certain words work better than others. 100 billion%. You need to know the scripts. But most importantly, like you're dealing with a human being that's different than the other human being you're dealing with. So having the frameworks in which to navigate a conversation, I think empowers people more to be able to thrive faster than just route memorization. So I love the idea of maybe you building out a chat bot that helps people like within a framework that works, and the words that work, kind of building out a flow for different types of scenarios.
What I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind. It's going to,
like, I already did it. I already built it. It's already done.
change. This is changing how we do business. And the more integrations and automations as the next year unfolds, it's going to be completely like task oriented, full on activated assistant that can do everything for you.
So I used to bartend when I was in my early 20s. I bartended, and I didn't have a phone. There were no didn't have a cell phone. Any drinks, but I took the job because it was going to get me to where I wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
Of what I needed at the moment. And so people would ask like, "Hey, can I get a blah, blah, blah?" And I'd say, "Absolutely." And then I would go in the back and look at the bar book. But I knew
you know what I did?
But I knew the chemistry. Like, I knew the framework. I knew how to get it cold and how to make it pretty and how to, have the customer service and create the experience. And I knew like what and like, all the things and how to handle the ingredients. So once I saw the thing, it was like, no problem. It's going to be the best one you've ever had. So that's how I envision realtors.
I didn't have that as a bartender.
You didn't have the bar book?
I had a follow-up question, and you're going to die laughing. My follow-up question was always, what color is it?
Well, so my favorite was always the women, or I won't say women. I mean, it's horrible to say it was just women. I'm sure it was men. But it was, what should I order? I'm like, there's nothing better than a shot and a beer. No, but the women that would say, I want something like fruity and something like blah, blah, blah. So I would just have the one drink that I would make with that request, right?
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Like having that framework so that it's easier for them to fill in the blanks.
100.
I created a tool that suggests next steps and tells them what they should be doing, because I feel we're more lost in general than people have any idea.
Yeah. Well, and people love process. Yeah. And so on our team, our thing is, rather than saying like, oh, let's set an appointment and I can show you my process, it's kind of like, it's like, hey, here's everything. And like some personalities or type of people are not going to want to look at it at all. Some people are going to dig into every little detail and be like, it's going to set you apart because nobody gave them anything like that. It's going to blow them away. And some people are just going to feel like you're giving value, regardless of if it's valuable to them. Like there's going to be all different things, but you've got to give people stuff, like come from contribution, want to help them no matter what the end result is, So if you, like you're saying with your bot, you can help people like be able to show process and provide value in real time, that's going to be extremely helpful.
It's awesome. Imagine like having like your book of SOPs, and instead of handing it to the agent who's not going to read it and like be overwhelmed with the amount of work it will take to follow them, imagine you could just like give it to an AI assistant who will learn it and guide the agent for you to make sure that they're always followed.
Carrie, I'm going to talk my neighbor into selling their house, and then I'm going to call you so you can buy it and you can be my neighbor. Or we can just sit on the front porch and talk about
like, you'll come home from work. I'll be like, just
like, I have new SOPs. I recorded them on the way home.
Honestly, this is my coaching program. So I have every week I have like an open Q&A call. And nobody has questions because I'm a very systematic person. Everything is very comprehensive, but they come on because that's what I do. I sit there and I'm like, okay, guess what I built last night at 12? Want to see that?
Where is this call? I'm going to be there.
It's in my program. You should be in it. What is happening?
Oh, yeah. I know. I believe Tawana and LaShawn are in it. Anyway, you're amazing. I love what you're doing.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I won't keep you any longer. I feel like I'm going to drop a lot of those contacts. If you can send those to me into the description on all the platforms on how they can help with the wildfires.
Absolutely.
Contribute. And of course, I'm going to have your website and your contact information if anybody wants to reach out. And yeah, I just appreciate you so much. And it was so great meeting you in person. In my
It was great.
Like all the virtual meets, like
I thought I had met you in person before, so that was the funnier part until you just said it just now.
Well, it could have been the EXPCon the year before, but that was my
I don't actually think
first
so.
one, and they threw me on 3 stages, and I was so green. I was just trying not to throw up all week. Like,
does it ever happen though, where you feel like you've met someone in person because you've interacted so much virtually, like we have, and then you meet them and you're like, hey, how's it going?
We could have, but like I was just trying not to like cry and throw up like the entire year ago. So like you'll have to forgive me if that's the case.
Yeah. I'll leave everyone with this is the last thing that I would say that you could do to really help is just to have grace with people and know that grumpy people are triggered by something. So if you have the power to be patient and just to love, it's such a great opportunity to make a difference. So Carrie, thanks for all you do. I love your work. I'm obsessed with all your work. So I'll continue to follow and jump into your coaching call.
Thank
for sure.
you so much, Jessica.